What's going on, Dungeon Fighters? It's MuscularThumbs, and today, let's talk about amplification. I've talked about Kiri and Suju in the previous video, and I mentioned there that Kiri is the craziest gold sink in the game. What I failed to mention is that she's the craziest usable gold sink. There does exist a gold sink so crazy that it's practically impossible to actually use, and that's Clonter. It takes a special kind of game to include a gold sink so severe that it can actually bring me to physical pain just thinking about it. I've never heard of a gold sink so intense that no one can afford to actually use it. You need to be the top 1% in this game to even afford this gold sink. You'll know exactly what I mean in just a second. Clonter's service is almost exactly the same as Kiri's. From my understanding of the system, you do get piercing damage. An equip can break after plus 10 amplification, etc. If you need a reference to the reinforcement table, please feel free to check out that video linked in the description below or in the top right hand corner right now. So what's the difference? There's one major kind, and that's stats. Clonter is almost like an upgraded version of Kiri's reinforcement system. He not only gives you everything Kiri can give you, but he also provides an X amount of strength, intelligence, vitality, or spirit. If you look on the screen right now, you'll see me showing you the Japanese amplification table. You'll see at the top of the table the actual amplification, all the way to plus 17. The left column is the kind of weapon involved, which ranges from a level 55 purple to a level 85 epic. Everything is color coded accordingly, so you don't need to know the language to figure this out. Afterwards, the actual values inputted into the table refer to the amount of strength, intelligence, vitality, and spirit you'll get for that particular amplification and equip level and type. So for example, according to this table, a level 60 epic at plus 12 amplification will get plus 85 to any of those 4 stats. The reason I'm showing this off is so you can reference it later if you are actually interested in amplifying. I highly advise against doing it, but if you are uber rich with no better way to spend money, this might actually be a viable way to get rid of all of it. I'm not here to judge. Now before I go into why amplification costs so much and why you'll be losing an arm and a leg in order to do it, I need to explain to you the kind of equips that you can actually amplify. There's something called cursed equipment in this game. A cursed equipment starts from level 55, and you'll notice this text at the bottom of the equipment. Other verse energy prevents this item from being equipped or displaying its ability until it's purified. In order to purify this cursed equipped, first you'll need to purchase a purification recipe from Clonter. You'll realize pretty quickly that each recipe sold by Clonter costs 150k gold. There's 3 recipes, the other 2 being converted any interdimensional ability to something else, and the other being endowing interdimensional ability to a non-cursed equipped. So to summarize this point, you can uncurse and you should get one of the 4 stats I've mentioned previously. After this, every amplification increases those stats. In order to uncurse, you need a recipe. If you want to change that stat you received, you can use the change recipe from Clonter. If you want to give a stat to an equip, you can use the endow recipe, all 3 of which is listed on the screen. So what are the costs? Well, it's simply crystallized chaos in gold, very similar to Kiri's clear cube fragments in gold. However, each crystallized chaos costs 10 full clear cubes. That's 1000 clear cube fragments, and you'll need several per amplification. Not only that, but I've heard the gold cost is higher too. Don't quote me on that, I have yet to find a reliable source in regards to that information. So as you can imagine, the cost keeps increasing. The only time you should bother purifying cursed equipment is if you found a set piece from Otherverse that you want to use. No point in amplifying armor equips so you'd only spend a few million to uncurse and never spend another dime. Otherwise, unless you're extremely rich or masochistic, stick to good old Kiri for your gold sink needs. Before I end this segment, you should be aware there are items out there that can actually grant amplification to a certain point, even on non-cursed items. They're called silver and gold amplification grimoire, and they come from lost treasures. There's also a well-known fact that you can't reinforce uncursed items, so be aware. Once you have an uncursed item, you'll need to stick with amplification. That's pretty much all you ever need to know in regards to amplification. Since it's Halloween, and I think I've had about 30 subs so far, today I'll be getting some candy. Deuces.